and welcome back to the Green Sofa. I am Seneca.
I'm Misha.
And today we are going to dive into some juicy topics.
Ooh.
Relationship dating.
Yes, relationships is my topic. Oh, I'm so happy this is our first one.
And since you are a relationship therapist,
Yes.
Misha, what
Yes.
better person than to have on the Green Sofa with us today to talk about this particular topic. So let's dive right into dating.
Okay.
What's the question you get most often in regards to dating?
Oh my goodness. There's so many questions. Whether if we're talking about online dating, who makes the first move, if we're talking about meet and greets or just meeting people in the real life offline, can I go speak to him? Just all of those type of things.
Okay.
But I wanted us to take some time, and we'll definitely touch on that. But let's just talk about one of the things that I have seen across social media and even having conversations with individuals is the meet and greet versus a date for the first meeting, the first in-person meeting. So whether we met online or if we met at an event, but this is the first time that we're getting together.
Okay.
And so Seneca, I know you and I have both dated extensively.
This is true. This
people.
is true.
And we've online dated, we've met people out and about, those different things. And so for you, what is your take on meet and greets versus a date as the first meeting?
I think you can do both, right? So for me, a meet and greet is just something casual. Where we're meeting up, we're just feeling our vibe, right? We're trying to see if there's any chemistry, if we even like each other before we even invest into more, expensive dates. So I think meet and greets are great, especially if you're doing online dating, right? And you're going, it's a numbers game, so you're probably meeting a lot of people often. And so, especially for men, if you're not trying to spend a lot of money on the first date, especially if this is somebody you don't have any chemistry with anyway, then, a meet and greet is great because you can go meet for coffee, tea, sit down at a park and just kind of vibe, converse, and see if you have any chemistry. For dating, if it's someone you're already really interested in and y'all just want to move straight to a first date where it's something a little more upscale, a nice restaurant, then I think both are absolutely fine.
And I think, I think sometimes some of the kind of kickback, is that the word? Kickback? Yeah. What is the word? Is it kickback? I don't know what the word is, but some of the pushback, that's the word. Okay. Some of the pushback that I've heard from women, especially if we're talking about online dating. Let's take it to online. And so you've had some exchanges, some banter with a gentleman, whoever contacted first, that's doesn't matter.
Right.
And then from there, you've gotten to the point that you decided, hey, let's get offline and meet.
Yes.
And so getting offline to meet, the purpose of that is just as you said, is there chemistry? Because one thing that we know for sure that happens is that there's people that we look great on paper. It looks like we're all aligned. This would be a perfect match. Only to get there to meet each other and there's no chemistry, someone's socially awkward, all of those different things.
Yes.
And so for me, in those cases, I think a meet and greet is wonderful because one thing I'm going to tell you guys, and I'm going to tell you, Seneca, is that my time and energy is the most precious commodity that I have. And so for me, I don't have any interest sitting across from someone, regardless of the restaurant, regardless of the tax bracket, regardless of the event. If I do not have chemistry, we don't have conversation, and there's nothing there. I do not want to spend an hour or more of my time doing that. And so for me, meet and greets are wonderful because just as you said, it's an opportunity. Let's get offline. Let's meet. Let's see if it translates. Is the chemistry there? Is the conversation there? And one thing that I know from personal experience, and I know you have as well because we've spoken about it, is that when we do that, if the chemistry is there, it's going to organically evolve into more time and more. You're going to look up, oh my gosh, X amount of hours have lapsed. Someone inevitably is going to say, hey, let's get something to eat. Let's go check this out. Now, this is a very different space because both parties are making an informed decision that they want to be there. That's very different than setting off for the first meet and greet. The first date, a fancy schmancy date, helicopter ride across the city, going to the ballet, 5-course meal, and you're sitting across this mofo and we don't have anything to talk about. Like, that is not what I want. But I definitely get the point. Now, there's some other times we've had some banter back and forth. The conversation's great. We feel like there's chemistry, and both parties feel like, yes, let's do a proper date. So I do agree for both that there's a place for both. But one thing that I don't like it is that when there's this thing that you have to take me to upon first meeting me, we have to go to this restaurant and you have to spend this amount of money, or I am writing you off, or you know, I'm making assumptions or making judgments about the type of man you are and those type of things.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair. Right. So there is this nice delicate balance of that.
Absolutely. And I'm a more traditional woman, right? So I believe in the guy being the pursuer.
Okay.
And the woman being the pursued. And I
Okay.
know we're living in this new age where women are bolder and they're making their own money and they're doing their own thing, so they're not afraid to approach a guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's absolutely fine, right?
Okay.
But I feel like when it comes to romantic spaces and wanting to pursue a really, a real relationship, I believe that the man should be the pursuer.
Okay.
And the woman should be the pursued. How do you feel about that?
I think so. Oh my goodness. You know, so I feel like there's a caveat to that, right? So on one hand, I definitely agree with that, because one thing that I know for certain is that if a man is interested, he is going to make it known.
Absolutely.
And so if he's not making it known, then he's not interested.
Yeah.
There's some other schools of thoughts that feel like women, you can do subtle approaches.
Yeah.
Whether he's across the room and you kind of have a smile that lingers a little longer.
Yes. Body
If
language is good.
you know, that type of thing.
Yes.
If you wink or something like that, and then letting the guy know, like, hey, I see you, I'm interested.
That's
and
true.
then from there, if he's interested, yeah, he can definitely come and chat as well. So yeah, but I'd like to get into some of our own dating stories.
Okay.
And I know that we definitely have them. So Seneca, have you, and I know you've had online dating experiences, what has that been like for you?
Actually, so I remember when I first got on online dating, right?
Okay.
I tried Match for like 3 months, and I used to be so anti online dating.
Okay.
But, some friends was like, Seneca, it's the way for the future. It's just the way things
Sure.
are now, so try it. And so I got like a 3-month subscription with Match. And actually, I only met up with one person, right?
Okay, just one person in person, offline.
Offline, one person.
But there was a lot of people.
Yeah, there was a lot of conversing.
Okay.
Inboxing, tons of inboxing, guys
Okay.
showing their interest.
Okay.
But I remember coming across this one guy. And so we decided to get offline, right? We said, hey, let's meet at Saltgrass. Let's have a proper meet and greet date kind of thing. And so we met up for lunch. And it's crazy because I'm sitting at the bar, right? And so I'm texting him like, hey, I'm here at the bar. And he's like, yeah, I'm at the bar as well. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, dear.
Well, where are you? Because I don't see you.
Oh, dear.
So he walks up and he looks nothing like his pictures.
That is the problem.
Catfish!
We need to look like your picture.
Yeah.
Look like your picture.
So, I was very turned off.
Okay.
When I saw my new immediate, like, this is not going to work. I was
Okay.
I was not attracted to him, sorry to say.
Because you came to the date thinking you were meeting someone else.
Yeah. I'm looking at his pictures and I'm like, this is not the same guy who's on the pictures.
Now, was it a thing of that he gave you a younger version of his picture?
Yes.
Was it somebody else altogether?
No,
okay.
Obviously, these are like high school pictures when he was a young jock back in the day playing football,
Oh,
whatever the case may be.
dear.
But as you would have it,
Yeah.
he looked nothing like the pictures.
Okay.
And so I was like, yeah, this is a no-go.
Yeah, and I think, and when it's those type of things, right? So one of the things that I am an advocate of is using your voice. And I have no problem using my voice. And I feel like in a situation like that, you weren't being honest, sir.
No.
You were not being honest. And from there, because you were honest, you had updated pictures,
Absolutely.
all of that. He was able to come straight to you. He
Yeah.
knew who you were.
Yeah.
You're sitting at the bar. You have no idea who this man is.
No.
He's sitting right next to you. You're having a conversation. Yes, I'm here waiting on my date.
Yeah.
And he's like,
where is he?
haha, gotcha. It's me. Oh, no.
Yeah.
And so from there, I think in those situations, like, I feel like just to be honest and just say, like, yeah. This isn't gonna work. I'm not gonna sit here for like however much time because it's deceptive.
Yeah. To me, it was really deceptive because I was like, I don't know if he used a picture from like 10 years ago or whatever the case may be. Nevertheless, like you, I feel like you should be using current pictures.
Absolutely.
I always tell people, I look exactly like my pictures.
Yeah.
So when people see me out, they're always like, oh, Seneca, you look just like you do in your pictures. Yes, that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had a group of friends in tears one summer when I did a summer of online dating. It was just, I mean, you were one of them saying, Misha, you need to write a book, because who are these individuals? And I'm just saying, like, I cannot make these stories up.
You can't.
From the gentleman who, again, I've had the ones who didn't look like their picture, or the individual who came in, and so there's things that you learn after the fact.
Yes.
Oh, there's no pictures of you standing up because you're 4'11". You're not standing next to anything. So these different things that I had to learn from experience. I need to see you standing up, sir.
Yeah.
But but this is the thing about being deceptive and on the online dating, or just dating in general.
Yeah.
I think that one of the other things when it comes to dating is the ability to have conversation.
Right.
And then I think with all of this technology, there's so many people who can write dissertations worth of information under a post and they feel offended, but then when they get in person they have less than 140 characters worth of conversation. So that's another thing that I get in my practice a lot, is that people are not practicing the art of conversation. Being able to actually have a conversation, put your gadgets down, and to actually speak to each other.
Yeah, and I know that's a huge thing, because you see nowadays where, you know, you can go to any restaurant nowadays and you can see a couple who's on a date, and it's like 15 minutes into the conversation, everybody's texting, you know what I mean? It's just
they're awkward. They're socially awkward. Like, oh my gosh, let me grab my phone. I don't know what to say.
Exactly. It's like, put the phones down. Because like you said, people have lost the art of conversation. We don't know how to converse offline, right? We're so busy sending text messages and, you know, emailing and Facebooking and dropping DMs that we just don't know how to get in front of people and just have a casual, cool conversation.
And I think also another thing is looking at dating, I think is, yes, you have to be very clear on why you're dating. Are you looking just for casual? I know some people use online dating if they're relocating to a new place, and they use it as a way to meet people.
True.
To meet new people, to kind of show them around the city, make new friends, those type of things. So I think one thing is that you have to be very clear is, what is your intention for dating? Is it long term? Do you want to be married? Is it just casual? Is it friends with benefit? I mean, there's no judgment, because everybody has their own space. But I think once we're clear on it, then that helps us navigate the dating pool.
Absolutely. I feel like you should be very clear about what it is you want up front. So I hear a lot of people like, oh, well, that's not the best thing to do on the first date. And well, I don't want to get to a second and third and 18th date only to realize we are not on the same page. You know I'm in a season of my life where I'm dating very purposefully, purposefully, and I am dating for marriage. So if you're looking for casual sex or just you know, just to shoot the breeze, I'm not the girl for you. And I'm clear on that. And I feel like it's okay to say that up front.
Absolutely.
Because then that eliminates all of the
riffraff.
All the riffraff, you know?
No, and absolutely. And what that also does is, like, it saves your time, because your time and energy is the most precious commodity that you have. And then also it lets that gentleman know where you stand as well. Because if he's not in the same space, wanting the same thing that you want, moving at the same pace, like, hey, yes, I do want to be married. Because there's a thing that we can want the same things, but want them in different time frames.
Absolutely.
I want to be married. Exactly. If it's like, I want to be married within the next 5 years, and someone else is like, yeah, the next 10, 12, I'm good at getting married. We aren't in the same, moving at the same pace. But I think that's very important. I think sometimes what happens is that we're not our authentic selves because we fear that we're going to scare the gentleman away or the woman away, whatever, by not being honest. But I think by being honest, like you said, you can filter through a lot of rubbish and then really be intentional with how you're dating.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things I learned just in my dating experiences is to be upfront and honest, because I didn't do that before, right? I was one of those go with the flow, just be easy breezy, but that does not work for me.
Unless you're the wind.
Unless
you're the wind.
Unless you're the wind. That's the only way that works. But that you have to be intentional and know what you want. And like you said, timing is everything, because we might want the same things. Like you said, we just might want them at different times. And so we need to make sure that we're expressing those things up front and be okay with that, because a lot of times, you know, what I would do is I would kind of just, I don't want to talk about these things first, and I don't want to scare the person away, and I just, you know, and it was fear. Operating out of fear, right? Because, I like this guy, and I don't want to scare him off too soon, so I love his company. I want to be in his aura and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But then it ends up in heartbreak because the only person I'm playing is myself.
Exactly.
Right? Because I'm not
Exactly.
being honest about what I want. I'm not letting my true intentions be known.
Yeah.
And so when it ends in, hey, well, that's great, but that's not what I'm looking for.
Sure.
You know, the only person I can be mad with is me.
And then also what happens is that when we are not our authentic self,
right.
is that the individual also doesn't meet us fully either.
That's right.
Because we haven't introduced him to who we are. And I think sometimes a lot of people, especially women, we shrink. We shrink into, shrink our greatness, shrink all of these things, our quirks.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of quirks. Listen, like I'm the one when you go to order, I know, but, and there's this question, right? Misha, are you picky? Or is it that I know what I want?
Okay.
And my thing is, I know what I want.
Yeah.
Right? And so it doesn't mean that I'm picky, right? I mean, even if we do something as simple as going to your local tea place, I know exactly how I want my tea.
Absolutely.
I want one strawberry. I want one blackberry. I don't want any water. I want it shaken 5 times. And luckily, they know me when I'm walking in.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I know what I want.
That's right.
And I'm unapologetic about it.
Yeah.
And I think that if I'm that unapologetic about the tea that I drink, it's the same way about a potential spouse.
Absolutely. So what do you think in this whole new age about, you know, the single independent woman and she wants to open her own door and she wants to pay for her own bills, you know? I mean, how do you feel about that?
You know what? The beauty of life and journey is that there's so many different paths, right?
Yeah.
And even though that's not my path, I do like, you know, even though, I mean, I grew up with a brother who is very much that gentleman. He is pulling out the chair. He's warming up your car before when it's cold. For me and my mom, and now his family, and teaching his son how to do that, and all of those type of things. So I grew up with that, having, you know, from my bonus dad, and then also my brother. So that is my particular lane. But I also know for these women, if this is their true, authentic self, like it's not a defense mechanism, because that also happens sometimes, right? Is that I've been hurt. I've been wounded, and as a way to protect myself, I become this very independent. I don't need you for anything, because what's happened is I depended on someone before, and he let me down, and I was heartbroken, and I was sad, and I felt neglected, and I felt abandoned, and never again will that happen. And so if we're not talking about those women, right? But if this is a woman who this is truly who she is, hey, I don't have any emotional wounds, no emotional baggage. This is who I am. I don't need a man to do any of these things, but I do desire a man for a partnership. There is definitely someone for her as well, because there's a gentleman who's like, that's exactly the woman I want.
Absolutely.
She doesn't need me. I don't need her, but we want each other, and we're going to be rocking.
And
so I think that's, and I'm glad that you brought that question up. Because I think sometimes when we walk this journey, we feel that if someone is different than us or have a different perspective than ours, that it's either right or wrong. And it's not. It just shows that it's this beautiful continuum on this life journey that we have, that everybody falls into a space.
Absolutely. And everybody is raised differently. You know, like I said, I was raised in a 2-parent household where, you know, my dad, on any given day, there would be roses around the house, you know.
I love that.
Valentine's, you know, my mom always had a bouquet of roses and balloons everywhere, and, you know, he was the type where, you know, he's not going to let my mother be under the hood. He's not going to let her change a light bulb. Like, he's that guy, you know, he's always opening the doors, and so he taught his sons to do that. And he always, I remember my dad used to take us on dates when we were little girls. So I would have, you know, Saturday night dates with my dad. He'd take me to the movies, and he'd take me out to eat and things like that, because he used to always say, I want you to know what a man is supposed to treat you like, right? And so it was such a beautiful thing having that as a young girl. And I know a lot of women did have that because they did grow up with their fathers. So that was my norm, and I realized that my norm was not the norm.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, because in my practice, when I'm working with families, that's one of the things that I recommend to all of them, is to have one-on-one dates with each other. Even though you have multiple children, each of your children are different. They speak their own love language. And a lot of times, I understand if you're parenting and you have more than one child, it's great to parent as a group. Everybody eat. Everybody get in the bath. Everybody go to bed. But everybody wants that own relationship. And just with children, you're going to have a dominant personality. So one child that shines over the other ones, who gets all the attention, whether they're good or bad or indifferent. And so by having these dates, mommy daughter, mommy son, mommy daddy, you know, dad dog, all of those different dynamics. It allows you to cultivate and nurture the relationship with each of those individuals. So having that experience with your dad, it definitely sets the bar. I think that's super important.
Oh yeah, my dad definitely set the bar. So let's get back to this whole online dating.
Okay, let's get there.
So who do you think should make the first move in dating?
So if we're talking about online, I think that there is nothing wrong with a woman sending the first message.
Okay.
Just for the simple fact as the way that the algorithms show up, depending on what platform you're using. Now there's some platforms that the only way that you can even message each other is that it has to be a mutual like or whatever.
Okay.
So there's one platform, Bumble, that the only way that you can message each other is that you both had to like each other.
Yeah.
And then with that particular platform, women have to send the first message.
Okay.
So it really depends on the platform. Other traditional platforms, again, it could be anyone, but I think just because of the way the algorithms are, it's quite possible that your picture didn't come up on his page the way that he came on your page.
That's good to
just
know.
because based on the criteria he has.
Yeah.
He may have an age limit and you fall without it.
Okay.
It may be he may have it on the zip code and you're out of the zip code, the mile radius. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with a woman sending the first message.
Right.
And it can be something as simple and witty and funny and whatever it is that's you. And then from there, now the ball is in his court.
Yes.
And then you'll see if he's interested or not, he'll make the move. And if not, it's okay. It's not personal, right? I think sometimes we take it so personal.
Yes.
And also, I think one of the best lessons that I've learned from my years of dating and just the summer of online dating is that going into it, not looking at every man as my potential husband.
That's right.
Right?
Okay.
But instead of going there as this is an opportunity to meet someone new who I don't know, and I'm going there to have great conversation and to have a good time. That's my intention.
Yeah.
And then if it grows or something evolves from there organically, I'm open to that. And if it doesn't, I'm also open to that.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
And one of the things I want to get into is I know as you get older, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I've been met with is like, oh guys, you can't be this pretty, this, you know, this, you can't have it going on like this. You know, you're educated, you're smart, you're funny, you're a pretty girl, but you're single.
Yeah.
Well, what's wrong?
Yeah. You get that like, oh, you must be crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, this and that. And I think it's important for us to change that narrative.
Yes.
How come it can't be that I know what I desire.
That's right.
I know what I like.
Yes.
I'm taking time off to heal from a previous romantic space that I've been in.
Absolutely.
I'm not in a space emotionally to date someone, so I'm not going to waste someone's time.
True.
There's so many different reasons why individuals may be single.
Yeah.
And one of the other episodes that we'll touch on next week is that there's the beauty and there's power in being single as well.
Absolutely.
That single isn't an ailment.
No.
Single isn't on suicide watch. Like, oh my gosh, I'm single. Like, you need to check on your single friends. They're about to kill themselves. And we're not making light of suicide. We're not doing any of that.
No.
But we're saying that it's not an ailment.
No.
You know, that you can definitely live your best life in each season that you're in, whether you're married or divorced or widowed or single or dating or different things like that. So I think that one of the things that we encourage our viewers of the Green Sofa is to really reform how you view that, people who are single.
Yes.
That it's not that something's wrong, because if that's the case, there's a lot of people that we know who are in unhealthy marriages, unhealthy abusive partnerships.
True.
And then the question would be then, well, what's wrong here?
Right.
Why are you remaining in a space that's unhealthy to your mind, your body, your spirit? And so I think it's very important to reframe that.
Yes, I think that is so true. You know, Misha, that I did therapy last semester.
And high five it. You know I'm there for that. You know I'm there for that.
I am all about this therapy life. I'm like, why did I not do this sooner? But you know, in our community, it's so taboo. I think we're starting to have more conversation about it now, which is a great thing, right? But it's such a beautiful thing. Thank God for my therapist. You know, I've been going to her for about 4 months now on a weekly basis.
Very nice.
Listen, thank you, Lord.
Yes.
It has restored me. It's such a beautiful thing. And I feel like now I'm even in a much better position in terms of relationship, because there was some baggage, some wounds.
Talk about it.
Right? Some things that I was holding on to that I did not realize was affecting my dating life, was affecting all of my relationships, not just romantic relationships, my friendships, business relationships, all of that. And so now just doing the healing, doing the work for myself, because nobody could do it for me, has put me in a much better position. And I think if people really take the time to unpack,
it's important.
Unpack their things, right?
Biden told us a long time ago, bag lady.
Exactly. Because I was a bag lady at one point, right? Unpack those things, get to the root of it.
Absolutely.
Find out what's wrong, and you'll be in a much better position today. And like you said, just because you're single does not mean anything is wrong with you.
Exactly.
Okay? It does not mean that you're crazy.
Never.
None of that. It does not mean any of those things. And like you said, it's a beautiful thing when you are single and you're enjoying that space. Listen, I've been able to travel the world. I've been to most continents. I've been to more countries than U.S. states. Right? I've been enjoying my single life, you know?
Yeah, and it's beautiful. And the thing about it, and we'll definitely talk more about it on our next episode, is that you discover deeper layers of who you are, deeper depths of who you are, and more layers. And once you discover more about yourself, you show up in the world fuller. And that woman, that man, there's a different level of attraction that this individual walks with. They exude it because when you know yourself and you're coming from a loving, healthy space, that is irresistible to anybody. And so one of the things also going back to the beauty of just dating, and even if it doesn't end up in a romantic partnership or things like that, is that also when we meet individuals, we're also exposed to different qualities and characteristics that either affirm or confirm things that we've known, right? Exactly. Either stuff that we've known about ourselves or what we like and dislike in a potential partner. But also one of the most beautiful things that happens is sometimes we're exposed to characteristics and qualities that we haven't met or experienced yet. And then we find out, you know what? Oh, this expands my heart space. I didn't know this existed. So I know moving forward, this is something I want to look for in a partner because this is nice.
I like it.
And I know one of my beautiful, oh my gosh, and I've taken it with me ever since this space with this gentleman, and is that we actually were in a relationship, a beautiful relationship. And anyone who knows me knows that I've had two big loves in my life. He was big love number 2. And one of those things that I have that just always resonated with me is he did not try to micromanage me or my femininity.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things. Once you experience that, once you're able to show up fully as you are without someone trying to kind of build, you know how there's that Build-A-Bear that you build, there's people who are literally out dating right now, trying to build a man and trying to build a woman, right? And really when we're doing that, what we're saying, Seneca and Green Sofa, what we're saying is, I don't think you're good enough as you are.
That's right.
I know better, and I'm going to build you, right? Which I think is one of the most disrespectful, most unkind, most unloving thing that we can ever do to someone. Because when you view someone that way, trust, they feel it. They feel when you don't think they're good enough. So by having this experience of not being micromanaged, that I could just show up and we could be our authentic selves, the entire spectrum of it. Once you experience that level of love and that level of quality and that characteristic, you can't go back. And so that also, it plays into why people may be single, right? Because I know for certain, just from different experiences that I've had, different dating experiences, I know what doesn't work for me, that constricts my mind and my heart, and those that expand it. And so if I notice that in someone, I don't have to date him for 8 months, 12 months, get engaged, get married, have a baby, all to decide to figure out that it doesn't work. I learned that lesson back in 2010 when I dated so-and-so. I know that doesn't work for me. Right? So I think sometimes dating, the beauty of that is it allows us to become a connoisseur of ourselves. Because we meet different people, and in these different interactions, we're exposed to different elements of ourselves as well.
Absolutely. It's funny you touched on that whole Build-A-Bear, right? So my brother-in-law, Daryl, he calls it Build-A-Boo.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
He has this term, Build-A-Boo, where, you have individuals who are out here trying to build a person, right? Trying to create a person. And like you said, it is the utmost form of disrespect,
It
because what you're
is.
saying is that you're not good enough for me. I
Yeah.
don't like you the way you are.
Yeah.
And in any relationship, you should never come into the relationship trying to change anybody.
Absolutely.
You can barely change yourself.
Exactly.
So what makes you think you're going to change anybody else?
Absolutely.
So you should never go into a relationship, into a space like that, wanting to change somebody.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, there's compromise.
Of course.
There may be bad habits and things that the person may need to change about
Sure.
themselves, and,
Sure.
and they recognize that and know that, and
Right.
maybe you're, telling them about those things. That's fine.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, we should never have to conform,
Absolutely.
or be something that we're not in order to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
The telltale sign is, if you can't sleep at night because you sitting here
Mhm.
tossing and turning and thinking of ways to
Yeah.
not be yourself so this
Yeah.
person likes you better,
Absolutely.
no deal.
Yeah.
No deal.
And then this is the beauty again of dating. So whether you've met someone online, you meet them tonight if you go out, and
Yeah.
whether it's a mixer or an event or business this or that, is that always be very clear on what is your intention.
That's right.
For everything, right? If you're exchanging phone numbers with someone, what is the intention? If you have no intentions on calling them, if you're not interested, let's stop this, I'm trying to save face and be kind.
Yeah,
Because
no.
actually, that's more harmful.
It
Because
is.
then what happens? You're going to be the ghoster. You're
Yeah.
going to not take calls. You're going to decline
Mhm.
all the invitations they make. You're not going to follow up. That is more unkind.
Right, formally close the door.
Exactly. And I am all about formally closing the door. Like when I
Yes.
did my summer of online dating, I had the formal closed door speech down.
Right.
You know what?
This
It
is
was
not working.
it was absolutely wonderful meeting you.
Yes.
Thank you very much for this time and all of that. But I have to be honest, there's no chemistry here
Yeah.
for me. And I think it's
Yes.
best that we go our separate ways. I wish you well some rendition of that. But from that, the way that I did it, it was kind, it was respectful.
That's right.
I never got any backlash from these men. They were just like, hey, I respect it. Oh, it
Yeah.
was nice meeting you. Great. Like that.
Yeah.
Instead of ghosting or not taking their calls. Oh yeah, absolutely, we're gonna meet up, and when
That's
I
true.
know I don't have any intention.
Absolutely.
So I think one of the things, and having your intention, being clear on your intention,
Yes.
is important for any area of our lives.
That's right.
Being very clear.
And I think you should approach each situation the way you would want
Absolutely.
to be treated, right?
Yeah.
If you want someone to treat you respectfully, to talk to you kindly,
Absolutely.
to formally close the door if they're not interested, or to open it wide up if they are.
Absolutely.
You want to make sure that you're treating that person the way you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think also is being very clear in what it is that you require and desire.
Absolutely.
And then one thing that I know, and I know you know for sure, is that you know when someone's interested.
Oh, of course.
So don't second guess yourself.
Yeah.
Trust that. You will know whether a woman or man is interested. They will make it clear.
That's right.
And so one thing that I know for certain through my years of being a therapist, through my own life experiences,
Yes.
is that you do not have to chase down what is yours.
That's right.
Man or woman, even if it's a woman who's playing hard to get and she's playing these roles or whatever the case is, gentlemen, you deserve someone who wants to spend time with you as well.
Yes.
Who's excited and who returns the call and is looking forward to being in your company.
Yes.
So this isn't a one-way, just one way for men or women.
No.
It's being respectful to everyone.
Absolutely. And I've learned that it's okay to have standards.
Yo, please have them. It's so important.
Have some standards.
It's important.
Yeah, and like you said, just listen, this is what I expect.
Yeah.
This is what I desire. It's okay to verbalize it.
Yeah.
It's okay to say what it is that you want.
Sure.
Right? Because you're being honest with self.
Yeah.
You're being honest with the other person. There's no ambiguity.
Absolutely.
And I just think that's just the best way to be.
Yeah.
Because then, like you said, you don't leave a trail of bodies of people who've been wounded and hurt,
heartbroken. Exactly.
heartbroken because you haven't been honest.
And then I think also too, there's this nice going back to the art of conversation.
Yes.
Because we never want any of our dates to feel like an interrogation
No.
or to feel like an interview. So
Right.
there is also, if you need to learn how to have the art of conversation or to engage in that,
Yes.
practice it. Whether you take a Toastmasters class or whatever the case may be.
Love Toastmasters.
I know you do. Whatever the case may be, is that there's a way to communicate with someone
Yes.
and just really gain more information. So it's not on the first one, what do you do? This and that, da 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 da. The person you feel like, oh my gosh, what is this? you know?
Exactly.
But there's a way to engage someone,
Mm-hmm.
to listen fully,
Yes.
to ask non-traditional questions.
Absolutely.
Because from that, you learn a lot more about individuals.
That's
I know
right.
one of the things that I recommend for my clients
Mm-hmm.
is when they're going out on dates, do non-traditional dates.
Yes.
Rock climbing, whitewater rafting,
Yeah.
bowling, something that we have to work together as a team,
I like
as
that.
partners, because in that you're also getting a lot of content in terms of how do we communicate.
That's true.
When we encounter a barrier or something difficult,
Yeah.
are we team players even though we just met each other, or do we turn on each other? Are we just independent?
Yes.
So these are some of the things that you would not find out in conversation.
True.
Because people would give the politically correct answers.
Right.
But by doing activities, you can really discover a lot about each other from that as
Absolutely.
well.
And I think at the end of the day, just have fun.
Oh,
it
fun
doesn't
is
have
so
to be
important.
so serious,
Oh,
right?
it's so important.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be methodical. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be mysterious. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
over the top. Just have fun.
Absolutely.
Enjoy each other.
Absolutely. So this is our segment. We are coming to a close on the green sofa. We would love to hear your thoughts. What did you think about our perspective? What is your perspective on dating and just dating altogether? And we will be back next week with another topic. Actually, next week we are focused on the beauty and the adventure of being single.
Yeah.
That's our next week topic. So I'm Misha.
And I'm Seneca. Thank you again for joining us. We'll see you again soon
On the green sofa.